This is the end panel and gloss panel, and it has to be cut to size, but the wall's crooked, so you have to scribe it to the wall. If you want a handy way of scribing it to the wall, I've used a carry jack here to hold a piece of wood, so it takes the weight off our hands when we're holding it. I've used a DVD case. That's the thickness that we need, and that checks if it's level. You then get your DVD case, put it over to the wall, draw a line down. You see up there's a couple of, up there's bigger bit comes off than down here, and then whenever we cut that it should fit. So there's the end result now. That's the end panel. Oh yeah. Another mistake here, when B&Q planned my kitchen out, they had an end panel for the wall but no end panels for the floor. So if I have a 600mm panel unit there and my other 1000, and then I put on end panels, I will not get a hob in that gap. I won't get a 600mm hob in that gap because these end panels are using up space. So if I have to move all the cabinets down. So it means that I put an end panel here on the top, I have to put an end panel on the bottom. And that keeps the units in line. And then when I get a hob, it'll fit. They hadn't put end panels on here, but I was going to use the end panels that they use for the end of the kitchen. They're putting 2 end panels in the sink. I'm not happy with them. I don't want them there. So I'm taking the end panels away anyway. But that was alright. There is the end panels there, example. So rounded off edge. Nice round, it's gloss there. Rounded off edge, gloss. That's the end panel. Here's the wall panels. Exact same. The wall panels are rounded off and got gloss on both sides. See the rounded off edges. But the end panels you give me, we see the end panels. They're meant for this kitchen. I'm taking them back. Square edge and not gloss. It's gloss on one edge, gloss on one side, and the back side is no gloss. It's going to look shite like. It's not going to match the kitchen at all. Square edge like. So I'm taking them back, and what I'm going to do now is I'm using these wall panels. I'm using the wall panels, and I'm going to put the wall panel down here for the edge, so it matches that. Because these stick out past to allow for the doors. So I'm using the wall panels. You don't see the depth, so I can leave the panels at the end of the things and use them from here in the meantime. As far as the end units go, these end units for the washing machine, I still don't want them ugly ones. So I'm going to buy one of these big boys here, and I'm going to cut it to size and use that for my support panels. I've got a washing machine at the end, so you need a panel at the end, and a dishwasher at this end, you need a panel. So I'm going to buy one of these ones and cut it to size. And then I've got my rounded gloss on both sides. I just don't understand. He was trying to flog me an end panel for here. Like, them's expensive, like. He was trying to flog me one for there. All you see is it's very, very edge. And then the rest of it then, it's going to be shite. Doesn't make sense. So I wasn't going to spend the amount of money for one wee edge there. Who's going to see that wee edge? But when you're walking in here looking down, you're going to see the other bits with no gloss on it. So this is as far as we've got now. So I had all the cabinets lined up, drilling the holes to get them drilled in, and then it dawned on me then, no end panel. I had an idea, maybe this is the Ulster Scots of me. You know where the Scots are supposed to be tight and all the rest. All I need in my cupboard is this edge to show. It's a shame to hide the rest, isn't it? I was about to cut it there with a handsaw the right size. I'm going to cut this down now in my electric saw. Cut it down a bit there. I'm going to hold on to this, but this might make nice wee shelves or something later on. This bit of wood. So I'll cut that down with a saw, use the edge, which you're going to see in the kitchen, and hold on to the rest. I think of that for an idea. So there's a cut there now. So what I'll do now is this bit here now. I'll have to cut that with a handsaw. But then, when I put that in there, look, you have your end piece of gloss showing. Nothing in there, you won't see it. And that leaves me, look at the good piece of wood I've left there. I can make wee shelves and things to match the kitchen when we're finished. Hold on to that piece of timber there for shelves. It's all plastic and plastic coated. So if we're going to, I'll cut it by hand then to make it neat. Hand saw's better. So that there can go to the side there for future projects. Now you don't know where you might want a wee shelf. Do you know what? See, if that had been squared, I would have used that for these end panels because these cupboards are so close. There's going to be a curtain here, but that fly, they put a curve on it. But do you know what? I think you might get away. I'm 2 panels short now because I cut these. I think I might get away with them on these end ones here. I'll put that in the end panels because say there's curtains, and from this side it looks the same as gloss. So that's, there you go now. Look, that's saved a fortune. That's the wall cupboards, like, no good for the base. The wall cupboards. I might do the base. We'll see what gap is left. If that's on there and the end of that base there, you'll not notice the curves around. That's the patio doors. You think it was designed that way? That's what I'm going to do there, boys. That's going to save me money there. Tuck the door off there for handiness. The one good thing about B&Q, the hinges are brilliant. Clip on and off. I set my wee piece of wood on there with a clamp. Put one wee, so if I level it off now, I need the door to level it off. Put the screw in. Just check, just do it by eye. And now I'll put a screw now on the bottom. I'll take that clamp away and I can put the next unit in. So from here now it's going to look a lot better. Gloss on both sides. Far better job. I'm making a bit of progress here now, but a lot harder. See these fancy end panels? I thought they'd be easier than doing now. See, years ago when we bought our first kitchen, MFI kitchen, you had your basic end panel. If you want a fancy end panel, you threw this one in the bin and you put your end panel and you bought your cupboard as normal. Dead handy, dead handy. But then you had to miter your joints. Now you have to put the end panels onto the outside of the original one. But the end panel comes too tall and it comes too deep. There's one now. So I've cut this to size, but you can see it's far too deep. You have to scribe it into the wall. But to scribe it into the wall, you have to put on the bottom plinth and top plinth first to get this lined up. If you put your plinths on, you're not going to get lined up, so you're not. So normally everything's alright with my face, but to make sure there's room for the cooker hood, I had to have these on to make sure the 600mm left. See if you want to, what do you call it? Putting on this end panel now. We're going to get this end panel to fit right. There's a word for it, I forgot the name of the word, where you get it to match the wall. So it's the same with that big panel over there. I use a videotape cover. Use anything at all. I'm laying the videotape cover up there roughly, whatever it is. Make sure it's the same's up there. It could be a CD case, it could be whatever. Make sure that's the same. You then bring this over to your wall then, and you draw it down with a pen. So I've already drawn the line on with a Sharpie. When I then take this off and saw that down, that'll push back to the right depth for here. I was looking for a scribe, so then I have to cut that off there now. But another wee tip, whenever you're cutting, whenever you're scribing something to a wall, never cut with the saws dead straight. Cut deliberately crooked, in case your wall's not 100% true either. You want that edge here to be slightly further out than the edge behind. So this is sitting on a hull now on my shed. So if I keep my saw straight, that'll put a slight angle on it. As this is the edge it's going to show. That's the edge you want next to your wall. So if you look at that panel there now, don't know if this phone will show it up or not. You should still see my blue pen mark. The blue pen mark is still on it. And if you check it for squareness, you'll find that it's not square. If I go to the end of that board, see slightly in this way. That's the way you want it. So look at it from above. See that there's nice and square. The back is deliberately sloped. Slope in slightly. And then when she goes up against the wall, this is your edge here. And because if you have it dead square and your wall's not dead level that way, it'll hold the whole board out, and in that edge I'll have a gap and you think you cut it wrong, and when you haven't. Here's a wee tip if anybody wants to save money. There's the wee end panel. How do you put that in to match up? Because I want a cooker hood here and the end panels there, I had to put end panels in there to widen it out to make sure the cupboards are lined up. But say the original end panel they gave me, which was ugly looking, was £44. Then wee ones there is £50. You don't need a whole end panel in there. So I just put the front piece in there and put a piece of scrap. That's only a wee bit of block of scrap just for distance. Doesn't be level or nothing. And keep the good bit to the front. And the same here at the end. That's the end one here. You walk in the door, you cannot see a way down. There's going to be a curtain on here. So that's the offcut of that end panel. Although it's curved, it's at the door. It's alright. It looks okay there at the door when you're coming in. So then that wee end panel there, like that's £50 for the two instead of £100 for each side. A wee money saving tip there. It's the same with that top one too. That's not a full panel. That panel doesn't go the whole way back, but you don't see it. Save money there, boys.